Some technologies don't just make things faster, they make the old way totally irrelevant. The internet didn't really improve libraries, right? It kind of replaced them. AI is doing that to search right now. But the next wave, it could make computing as we know it completely obsolete. Let's dive in. And this brings us to a really direct and, for a lot of people, a pretty scary question. If you're holding any crypto, is it actually safe? Is that digital lock really as unbreakable as everyone says it is? The answer might just shock you. 9 minutes. Yep, that's the answer. A recent paper from Google claims that's how long it could take a quantum computer to crack the exact encryption that's supposed to be protecting things like Bitcoin. And this isn't some far-off futuristic idea. The clock is definitely ticking. Okay, so let's start right there with this incredible claim. What would it actually mean to break the world's most famous cryptocurrency in less time than it takes to make a cup of coffee? Look, this is not science fiction. This is a direct claim from one of the biggest tech companies on the planet. And to understand how we even got here, we need to get into the science. And that leads us to the man whose discovery made all of this possible, a Nobel Prize winner named John Martinis. So to really get a handle on the thread, we have to understand the science. And this isn't just about faster computers. We're talking about a fundamentally different way the universe works, and how one guy proved we could actually build machines based on it. John Martinis is an absolute giant in this field. I mean, his discovery didn't just get him a Nobel Prize. It literally dragged quantum computing out of the world of theoretical physics and into practical, real-world engineering. He's the one who proved it was even possible. So, how in the world does this work? Well, Martinis uses a really simple analogy to explain it. In our normal world, if you throw a ball at a wall, it bounces off. Simple enough. But in the bizarre quantum world, an electron can basically just tunnel right through that wall. No hole, no damage, it's just suddenly on the other side. It's this freaky ability to be in multiple places and try impossible paths all at once that gives these computers their power. It lets them guess 1 billion passwords at the same time instead of just one by one. And this is the absolute heart of his breakthrough. Before him, everyone just assumed these weird quantum effects only happened in the super tiny world of atoms. But Martinis built an electrical circuit, like a big one you could actually see, and proved that it obeyed these strange quantum laws. He showed this stuff could be engineered. Okay, so proving this works in machines is one thing, but what is this new type of machine actually for? Besides breaking things. Let's flip the script and look at the promise here. Think about it like this. We use normal computers to design a car part or kitchen layout in a simulation before we build it for real. A quantum computer lets us do the same thing, but for molecules and materials, at the atomic level. This is a complete game changer for things like chemistry, creating new materials, and especially for discovering new drugs. The financial leverage here is just staggering. As Martinis himself puts it, drug development costs an insane amount of money. So he says, if you can improve your insight on how a drug works by just 1%, that's really valuable and could be worth a lot of money. You don't need a massive revolution. Just a tiny edge can change everything. And as you can imagine, this incredible potential has kicked off a massive, high-stakes race. But it's not just about who can write the cleverest software. It's about who can build the fundamental machines that can actually run it. This is a race for the hardware. Now, to explain his strategy, Martinis borrows a really cool idea from Peter Thiel's book, 0 to 1. He calls himself a definite optimist. That means he's not just talking about all the cool possibilities that might happen someday. No, he has a very concrete, definite plan for what needs to be built right now to make this technology useful. And that definite plan is simple: hardware. He admits it's the hard path, the really expensive path, but he makes a great comparison to NVIDIA. They made a massive early bet on building GPUs way before most people knew what to do with them. And now they're one of the most valuable companies on Earth. Martinis is betting on that exact same playbook for quantum. And the stakes are just enormous. We're talking about a market that could generate $1 trillion in economic value within the next decade, according to some reports. That's the prize everyone is racing for. Okay, so $1 trillion market is coming. The threat to crypto is real. But when? When is this actually going to happen? Well, Martinis gives a really clear and frankly, an alarmingly short timeline. So let's just walk through this timeline. The theory of breaking encryption with quantum computers, that's been around since the 90s. Then, in the 2010s, you have the US government starting to seriously prepare for it. Fast forward to today, and we're in the middle of this intense hardware race. And the finish line? Martinez predicts that in the next 5 to 10 years, we could see a machine powerful enough to break today's encryption. That is not very far away. And the major players are not waiting around. Google is already rolling out quantum-resistant encryption. Financial giants like JP Morgan are actively figuring out how to use this tech. And maybe the biggest signal of all, Martinez says the U.S. Treasury is already worried about all those old, unclaimed Bitcoin wallets out there that are super vulnerable. They're just sitting ducks. So we've got the threat, the science, the applications, and the timeline. Let's boil all this down into one clear, quantum-proof takeaway. All right, let's do a quick, high-density recap of the facts. The threat, cracking Bitcoin in 9 minutes flat. The discovery, proving quantum effects work in big, buildable machines. The applications, designing new drugs and materials from the atom up. And the timeline, 5 to 10 years until one of these powerful machines exist. So today's takeaway is this. Everything we've talked about, all the good stuff and all the scary stuff, it all hinges on one single thing. Building better, more scalable hardware is the absolute critical path. Without it, this all stays theory. With it, well, everything changes. Which leads to a really hardcore debate. Is building a machine that can crack all that old crypto a genius, once-in-a-lifetime business opportunity? Or is it opening a Pandora's box that could trigger a global security disaster? I want to know what you think. State your case in the comments. And hey, if you leave a comment with your take, we'll automatically send over this explainer's full mind map and tool list, breaking down every concept we covered today. Thanks for watching.